You can check in all you want. I'm still gonna find you. Oh, scary ass.
Hold down, man. Suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
Everybody, you already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. I appreciate everyone that's been rocking with me from day one, just like I appreciate all the new subscribers that keep coming on a day-to-day basis. Anyways, for this video here, I'm going to go ahead and get into why inmates choose protective custody. I felt like doing this video right here because, you know, a lot of people be in my comment section and they always ask a lot about PC, which is protective custody. So I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a video together for y'all and break it down to the reason why they choose protective custody. Everyone already knows the main reason. They're scared. That's number one. People get scared. They can't, you know, take that pressure. And, you know, pressure busts pipes. So they're nervous. They don't know what to expect. And it being them from the get-go. Okay, it isn't like someone goes to prison and then all of a sudden they just curl and then they became someone who was scared for their life and they check in and became PC. If they did that, then they had that little bit of bitch in them from the get-go. You understand? Now, certain things lead to things that make people feel like there's a lot of pressure on them. They're nervous. Something's going to happen to them. And they don't know any other way or anything to do other than PC up, you know. But I've seen some people who PC'd up before that were actually putting in work and doing some savage things before it happened. Okay, now, that means it was always in them, though. You feel me? That means 9 times out of 10, they picked faces. They did what they could do to people they know they could do it to, or people they knew they could get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of someone where they felt like that other person had the upper hand and they had the shit end of the stick finally. So then, you know, they didn't know which way to go. There was no other way. They felt closed in. The only way they could do is check in. Okay? Fear is the number one thing that makes people PC up. All right? Now, there's another thing. Money. When it comes to money, people will go to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting over on someone, as far as getting their money back, and as far as wanting to get high or chase whatever habit they want. So, you know, they'll try to finesse. They'll get themselves put in the hole. They'll borrow things from people, you know, different things like that. And people will go to the extreme when it comes to money. So, when that pressure's on, they check in. You got some people that aren't even scared, to be real with you, but they know what's going to happen due to the money they owe, that they'll check in and PC up. Shit's crazy. Literally, over 85 to 90% of the people who get in the hole with money know they're not living like that. You know what I'm saying? Or unless it's someone that's fully a savage, fully committed, and they're getting in the hole with you on purpose to see if you're living like that. So the ones that know they're not living like that, they're not worried about getting wet up or getting their face ripped open or anything like that, or getting hit with locks, because their intentions from the get-go was to milk it as much as they can and PC up. And that's the type of things that you happen to go through, you know, that you see people do on a day-to-day basis inside of prison. Okay? And like I said, I knew some people that were some real ones that, you know, went into protective custody. I know some people that got put in protective custody when they didn't even want to be put in protective custody. You get chased by someone and that person's chasing you with a knife and they catch it on camera, they're going to put you in protective custody, whether you want to be in there or not. And they'll probably transfer you, and then when you get to your next camp, you got to wait till the warden signs off on you saying, yeah, he's allowed back on the compound, okay? He's safe. The person who was doing that isn't here. He should be safe here. You know, different things like that. But the whole reason people PC up is because them two main things. They had fear and they owed money. Straight up. You get a lot of tattoo men, you know, that are known for, like I said in my prison tattoo video, they're known for collecting money from people before they give them their tattoos, before they do what they're supposed to do that they were paid for. It's like they milk them. It's like milking the system. That's basically what they do to other inmates. Okay, now, when you're in PC, though, you aren't always safe. That's the thing. Yeah, it's called protective custody, but it doesn't mean you're always safe. And the reason I say that is because, like I said before, when they transfer you from a camp, there ain't no separation from you and them other inmates. You may be in a PC cell inside of confinement until they transfer you. But when it comes time to leave that compound down here in the state of Florida, you're put on that bus with everyone else in confinement that's getting transferred as well, and as well as the people on the compound that are being transferred. That's it. The only ones that they don't put in the same exact spot on the bus, because there's a cage in the front of the bus. When you walk on the bus, there's a little cage with like 2 seats, one on this side, one on this side. And then they shut that cage so that way everyone else on the back of the bus can't, be with them ones in the cage. The only ones they normally put in them cages are people who were sentenced to CM. All right? If your ass is a PC, you're a check-in, if you're a tattleteller, if you're a snitch, a rat, a gang member or a neutron, it doesn't matter what it is, why you're being transferred, whether it's for a medical situation, a dental situation, anything like that, or if you got in a fight, so you got a DR, you got transferred, you got caught with cell phones, no matter what it is, all of y'all are going to be on that same exact bus together. And that's how a lot of people who go PC end up getting caught. That's how they end up getting what's supposed to be done to them, what they thought they were escaping. Because no one forgot about you. Which means if you owe some money, you know what I'm saying? Or you feel like you're getting in some beef with some people and you don't know how to handle it and you check in, you PC up. Just because you've been in the box back there riding it out a couple months doesn't mean people on the compound forgot about you. Word travels so quickly in prison. It travels so quickly from one compound to another compound. So just imagine how fast it goes from one dorm to another on the same compound. You feel me? So you have people that will check in and they'll think, all right, shit, after I'm back here around Halloween, next thing you know, boom, they're about to get transferred right after Valentine's Day. So they're like, shit, I ain't really stressing it. I was back there for a couple months. People ain't worried about me because on the compound, you have so much violent shit going on that you're like, I know they ain't thinking about little old me. When really, yeah, they're not thinking about you, but they ain't forget. Straight up. They didn't forget. So, people that come and go from confinement will see you. Even if you don't know who they are, and even if it ain't someone that's a part of the person you're beefing with, or the person that you checked in under, or any of that. People are going to see you. Because on shower days, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in confinement, they're going to bring you to the shower just like they would every other inmate. They're going to go from cell to cell. They're going to open this door, cuff up. Y'all cuff up. You walk around the whole tier to the shower. Boom. Take them out. Boom. Put them back in. Go to the next cell. They're going to do the same thing to them people on PC that they're going to do to the regular inmates that are housed in confinement. So people are going to see you, know you're still there. People are going to be coming in for little 15-day bids, little 30-day DRs, 60-day DRs, and they're going to see you and know that you're still back there. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like they're thinking about you, but they haven't forgot. You may be out of sight, out of mind while in confinement, but trust me, there's eyes on you at all times. Even the trustees who come back there and hand out food and work in confinement, the ones that work in the box, they might see you there, and next thing you know, they'll finally click and remember who you are, and they'll go tell the one dude, hey, remember the one dude that checked in on it? Yeah, he's still back there in confinement. He in Y dorm right now, though. For real? Yeah, he in Y dorm, dog. For real? Yeah, I seen him when I was at work. Word travels so much. So people got tabs on you regardless if you PC up or not. So at the end of the day, you might as well be a man because you're a man before anything. So don't ever try to take the coward route. You feel me? Now, if you feel like you're outnumbered and, these dudes are going to latch you, a whole gang, it's like 15 of them on the compound, and they're going to try to hit you up or whatever. I mean, if you're going to pull a check-in stunt, then, go out with a bang, you feel me? Like knock one of them out in front of the police officers or something. So that way when you do, because now when you do go to confinement or whatever for dropping dude off right there, you just straight up drop them like a ton of bricks. You did it in front of them. So that way, when you go to your next camp, Yeah, you're gonna, you know, there'll be words that you pulled a check-in stunt, but at the same time, you did it like a gangster, you feel me? Rather than you rocking out against 80 of them, or 15, I meant. You know, regardless, it's like, you feel me? Like, if they come after you and they're trying to wet you up and you ain't got no knife or nothing, man, you knock the loudest one out. The one who been talking the most shit, knock his stupid ass out. Because when you get transferred, he's going to get put in the box too because you knocked him out in front of the police officer. He might get transferred too. So now you just ruined everything that he's got going on with his brothers. Now he going to get sent to another camp. His brother's going to do background check on him and kind of find out he got transferred because someone crashed him in front of the police. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it shows that you were still about your issue a little bit. You didn't just PC up. Like, I've seen people literally pack their shit and start walking towards the captain's office. So when they pop the doors for chow, you see inmates standing there by the door with their mat. They got it on like a book bag. They got the sheets wrapped around it. They got all their property and everything. Look like they moving somewhere. And then when they go to pop the doors for chow, if the officers don't catch them standing there, you know, go to banging on the glass, boom, 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 boom. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? While everyone's standing by the door waiting for it to pop so you can go to chow. And the next thing you know, they tell them, I'm checking in. I'm checking in. I don't feel, I'm in fear for my life. I'm in fear for my life. You know, stuff like that. If they don't get caught by the officer right then and there, you'll see everyone walking the chow, and then you're going to see the one person walking, carrying his shit. Only one on the compound carrying straight to the captain's office. And then you better hope whatever inmate you're checking in on or whoever you owe money to doesn't run up and get you before you make it to the captain's office. Because if you look at it, say you owe this dude $20, this dude $20, and this dude $20. Well, one of them ends up threatening you, so now you check in. But what you think? The other two dudes that you owe that money to ain't going to be pissed and they going to want to get your head? So you might be checking in because of this other dude. And then here, I'm one of the dudes you owe $20 to. I'm walking back from chow. I see your dorm going to chow. I'm not even thinking of the $20 at the moment. You know, I know you owe me, but you feel me? I'm not thinking of it. Then I see you carrying all your shit up top towards the captain's office. I'm going to try to run up on you and I'm going to try to knock your lights out as hard as I can. I might throw my arm out the socket trying to hit you with this one because you're checking in right now. You feel me? And that's just what it is. Now you got more people on you because you checked in. You know, but like I said, people choose that route because they can't take the pressure. You got people that put down on people, extort them, you know, force them to do things, you know what I'm saying? Like be the mules and stuff, which I got a video coming out on that pretty soon. You know, like people just, you know, they apply pressure. You're in there with a bunch of people who committed crimes. Even if not everyone in there deserves to be in there and not everyone is guilty. You know, some people are just guilty by circumstances or whatever it may be. But not everyone in prison deserves to be there. There's a whole bunch of people and a high percentage that do deserve to be there, but not everyone. You understand? Some people don't. You know, some people just got caught up in the wrong way and landed there. But you're in a place with a bunch of bad people. That's like when you were younger. I mean, speaking on me, when I was younger, you know, I got sent to an alternative school. You know, down here in Broward County, it was called South Area, and it was in Hollandale. You know what I'm saying? And it was literally like me and maybe, I'd say 15 other white boys in the whole school. You know, it was South Area Alternative School, which now it's called Lanier James Education Center. But when I got sent there for getting in trouble with my schools, getting suspended and shit for fighting and all this different stuff, I'm in here now with a bunch of people who've been suspended. A bunch of people who obviously did something wrong from the school they was at. You understand? We was all put in the same classrooms. Like you had all the way from like 3rd grade to 12th grade. And I could be in the same class as someone that's in 6th grade. And I could be in 8th grade. There could be a 6th grader in my class. And there could be a 9th grader in my class. All the way up to a 12th grader. All they did was split it up between the elementary classes, the high school and middle classes. That was it. They did it just like that. Like elementary want to be in the school with middle school and high school, you know, but the high school and middle school will be all switched up. So I could be sitting here talking to my dog that's in 11th grade and my other homeboy right here is in 6th grade and I'm in 8th grade. We all got our own assignments. It was just an alternative school. That's the same thing about prison. Everyone there is 9 times out of 10 there for something they did. You know what I'm saying? So you're in a place where a bunch of people committed crimes before. You know, where people are known for committing crimes. There's more crimes going on inside of prison than there is on the streets. Literally. Half the things, I take that back. over 99% of the things that go on in prison doesn't even hit the internet, doesn't even hit, you know, go viral or be talked about or anything like that. It'd be the littlest things that you see on the news about certain stuff. But every day in prison, and I'm speaking on Florida, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of states out there it's the same way. Every day in prison, something is going on. When I was in Charlotte and Calhoun down here in the state of Florida, every single day something went down. Charlotte, people were getting wet left and right. That shit never really hit the news. People would pass away from not surviving their injuries, and it didn't even hit the news. You know what I'm saying? It was an everyday thing, you know, and that's the type of things that make people check in and PC up. You got it to where buses will pull up and people will what camp we at? Charlotte. Oh, hell no. The whole bus will check in. Scared to get off the bus because they done heard about Charlotte. You hear through the grapevine, you know what I'm saying? Word travels. You'll be way up there in the Panhandle, which is the top region compared to down south where Charlotte's at, and you'll hear about Charlotte. You'll hear nothing about it from people that are traveling upwards that done went through Charlotte or got transferred from Charlotte, you know? And believe it or not, at Charlotte, which was the camp that I was at and did majority of my Kfrogtv videos, that camp right there is so hard to get away from. Which means it's a negative adjustment camp, which means I got sent there from Calhoun from excessive DRs. They transferred me from up top all the way back down through the reception centers back to Charlotte from excessive DRs. So once they put me there, I fit right in with everyone because this was the type of place that I deserved to be at. You feel me? Calhoun, there was a lot of fights and stuff like that, but it wasn't as much slanging iron and wetting people as Charlotte was. So when I got there, I was adapted to it. You know, like I'm sitting there and I see all the shit that's going on, all the people checking in, confinement's full. It got to the point where confinement was so full at Charlotte that off of a 30-day DR, they're only having you do 12, 13 days, and then they're putting you back on the compound. Straight up. They started giving everyone probation. Instead of bringing you to confinement, you know, they bring you to confinement for your DR, and then you'd sit in AC confinement, which is administrative confinement, and then in about a week, you would go to your DR hearing. And when you go there, that's where they sentence you and put you in disciplinary report confinement, which is DC confinement. You feel me? Which is the same thing. It's just now your status is different. You know, you're not in AC confinement no more. You're considered DC confinement, which now you could be put in the room with people who have been sentenced. Because they're not supposed to put you in the room when you haven't been sentenced, then you're on AC confinement with someone who's DC confinement. Y'all are not supposed to be compatible. But Charlotte didn't care anyways, you feel me? But it got to the point to where if they didn't give you a walking DR, which means they don't take you to confinement, they give you the write-up and then you go back to your dorm and wait until the day comes to where you go to DR court. You feel me? Then you got to pack all your stuff up, all your property, and you carry it with you to confinement. And then in one quad in the box, they have the sit-down meeting with you, classification, and all that, and then they sentence you. It got to the point that the box was so full that people were getting walking DRs left and right. People who weren't getting walking DRs would go to DR court and get probation. You get caught with a cell phone, they giving you probation. You know what I'm saying? Instead of 60 days in the box, you're getting 60 days on probation, which means you can't catch a DR within that amount of time. That's all it means. It ain't like there's anything new about it. It's not like, it's just like you got to stay out of shit for 60 days, which it's normal. That's the same thing as not being on the probation, to be real with you. See, when I was in Calhoun, they had DR squad, and they had like a squad walking around every day with an officer, and they had to like paint dorms. The dorms that were shut down, they had to take all the bunk beds out of there, paint the bunk beds, and, you know, clean up the compound and stuff. That was DR squad. That was something that they sentenced you to. They didn't have that at Charlotte. So it got to the point the box was so full from people checking in, and with these check-ins, you can't just throw them back on the compound like you can people who catch DRs. You feel me? Because if they checked in and then you throw them back on the compound and something happens to them, the compound gets held accountable for it. You feel me? Like from some, you know, it's a red flag. They're in fear for their life. You knew they were. They checked in. You took them off of, you know, PC, and then you threw them right there. You know, you threw them back on the compound and something happened to them. Now their peoples can have a lawsuit. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the box was so full, you know? And then on top of that, it wasn't just because people were on protective custody. The box was so full from people coming and going with DRs. Like I said, something happens every single day at Charlotte. Every single day at Charlotte, man, at least 20 people, if not 30 people are going to confinement. You could sit there on your window and be looking out there at the compound, people walking around, and you will constantly see like clockwork. You'll see them coming back and forth from in the box with someone in handcuffs more than the officers walk around to do their rounds inside of the dorm. That's how it was at Charlotte. You feel me? And like I said, you doing 12 to 13 days off of 30. You know what I'm saying? 28 to 35 days off of 60. You feel me? But a lot of them were check-ins. So that makes it to where they have a secured cell until they get transferred. They could put another PC in there, though. They could put a PC in the room with a PC. You know what I'm saying? But that makes it to where they can't move no one around, really. You know, and that's what made them start going against the grain and putting ACs in the room with DCs, because they didn't have space for the newcomers. You feel me? Because they had people who were DC confinement. If I had a cellie, we were both DC confinement. I've been back here 100 days. Now my bunkie eventually gets out. Boom, he goes back to the compound. But now I'm still DC confinement. So by law, they're not supposed to put another person unless they're DC confinement in my cell. You know, and we got to be compatible, you know, as far as like, I'd say, I wouldn't really say your charges, or I'm not sure the whole the compatible thing, but people get put in a room that are in there for a year, and they get put in there with people who got elbows and stuff in confinement. So I really can't go off of and tell you something I don't know. I only speak facts, you feel me? So if you're not compatible with someone, and I'm on DC, and then the other person I'm not compatible with is on DC confinement, they can't put us in the same cell. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when they'll do a lot of move-arounds. They'll take this dude out of the cell since his bunkie left, and they'll move someone else who's DC over here. Boom, since that person don't have a bunkie, and now they got a whole empty cell to put PCs in and people who come on administrative confinement from when they first catch a DR. You feel me? But then since it was so full with PC check-ins and people coming and left and right, coming and going, they had to start moving AC people in with DC people. You feel me? They started putting them in there, mixing them with everybody and stuff like that. You feel me? And that's what they started doing, you know, because people PC up and people go to confinement left and right, you know. But like I said, when someone does go PC, word travels, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people think that they can get away with things and then go PC at one camp, when really it's going to come back to bite them. Because if they don't get got when they're leaving the compound on that bus, if they don't get caught, when they get to their next camp, word's going to travel somehow, and then it'll get right back to them. Literally. If it don't happen right then and there, it'll happen down the line. It can happen when they least expect it. You know, you see it. You know, a lot of people, there's gang members, bro, that made it through their whole prison bid, and people don't even know they were a rat. You know what I'm saying? And it happens day to day. Like, that's what it is. Down here in Florida, they don't check paperwork. You know what I'm saying? It ain't my fault. You feel me? I ain't the one that made the system down here. You know what I'm saying? But gang members make it through prison all the time, having messed up charges, and, you know, and then being policed untold on people. And that's what it is, you know, because people are worried about their self down here in the state of Florida. Because when you get when you don't mind your business, and you get your thoughts on someone else's business, then it becomes your business, and the next thing you know, you're in a whole line of shit. So that's how it is down here in the state of Florida, you feel me? And people go from one place to another place. I mean, it's possible, because there's people that have done it, you know what I'm saying? That literally could do their whole bid without even someone finding out the true them, you know? But when it comes to PCing up, it catches up with you, because there will be an inmate at this camp that's seen you PC up, you know, that remembers you. And then, or you can run across them a year and a half later at a reception center, and they remember, and they're looking at you like you look familiar, and they can't put it on. They can't guess where they know you from, and then it hits them, and now they know. Now they're telling someone who's with them, oh yeah, I was at Charlotte with that dude right there, for real. Yeah, bro, he had checked in or whatever. He owed a bunch of Zoes some money and shit, and the dude wouldn't be like, nah, he not even thinking nothing of it, but he just glances at him real quick because his homeboy's telling him a story about him, and then next thing you know, if the person that was just told that don't land at the same camp that time with the person that he was being told about, later down the line, he can land with him another 2 years down the line, he'll be looking at him like, damn, why dude looks so familiar, dog? And he can't he can't figure it out. And then it hits him. Oh, that's the dude that my dog was telling me about a couple years ago at the reception center that checked in because of all those O's. And now he's at the camp that dude's at. And that dude's been at this camp for a while, and everyone knows him. Like he's solid. He's 1,000. He never checked in. He's been 100 his whole bid. And now this dude that you don't even know knows you just from the story he was told. You know, and then all it takes is for him to go talk to one of his homeboys that's a Zoe and be like, hey, bro. He's like, damn, bro, I knew that dude right there, bro. What you know, bro? And they'll be like, yeah, that's such and such. Man, I heard that, boy. And then boom, boom, boom. He tell that Zoe what happened. Now that Zoe's going to tell his brothers, and they're going to they're going to check on him, boom, about it. They're going to figure it out, call the camp, ask about him, you know, try to, if they heard anything. Oh, well, one of my brothers was at that camp at that time. Let me ask him about it. And then boom, boom. Next thing you know, this dude here minding his business, and boom, gets his ass ate up. You feel me? It comes back to you. You don't get away with shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of things that people go through in prison. You know? And a lot of people think PCing up, going into protective custody, can prevent that. When all it really does is, it don't prevent it. It just buys you a little bit of time. That's the best way that I could put it. You feel me? And like I said, the main things that people check in over is because they had fear in their heart. They were scared from the get-go. They had it in the back of their mind already. You feel me? And then money, whether they get put in the hole or whether they, you know, there's, you know, it could be anything. You feel me? When it comes to money, that's just how the cookie crumbles in prison. You know what I'm saying? And people PC up, you know, they think it's going to save them. It's going to protect them and stuff. And it really don't. Because like I told before, there was people PCing up on purpose just to get put in the cell with people that were on PC. People were in confinement. Okay, I knew this one GD. His name was JC. JC put himself on PC. He was in confinement with us. He was in the cell across from me on the top tier. I was on the bottom tier at Calhoun. And there was a white boy that was straight across from me on the bottom floor that was PC. That was right up under him. He used to talk shit to him through the vent up and down. He put himself on PC. He sent a kite to his brothers, and then he talked about it all on the door and everything out loud so we can all hear it, that he was going to PC up just to get put in the cell down there because that was the only cell open for PC. You feel me? So he hollered at the officer. The officer was cool with him, so he told the officer what he was going to do, and then to make it look legit, the officer already knew that I'm going to write the paperwork on him that he's PCing up and everything, and then the officer did him a favor and moved him down there in that cell so he could beat the dog shit out of that person in there. Now all the other G's were like, yeah, bro, that's a real one. See, he got spared, like, from being on PC, even though he gets transferred somewhere and it shows he was on PC. You feel me? All he's got to do is check in with his brothers and let them know, boy, I PC'd up myself just to get my hands on someone that was PC. You feel me? For our nation. And then they're going to do a background check, see if it is what it is. You feel me? And who knows? Some might not believe it, try to get him off the pound or tell him he can't bang on that compound. All because it's on in his jacket that he was PC before. You feel me? But, you know, it's possible. If they want you bad enough, they can get you. So going on protected custody don't always save you, boy. If they don't get your ass in confinement like that, they can get your ass on that bus. If they don't get you on that bus, they can get you at one of these camps you land out later on down the line. You feel me? And that's what happens. And people don't know that when they decide to go PC. You feel me? They think if they go PC, they're good. It's in the clear the whole way now, boy. They ain't never gonna get me now. I'm safe, boy. That's it. I'm good, boy. Like, shit, anything can happen. You feel me? They could put shit in your food. You know what I'm saying? They could wait till you're getting transferred to medical and jump on you and give it to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of shit that goes on, man. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video on up. I just wanted to break it down to y'all and let y'all know the reasons why people go PC. Why they go into protective custody. And you just found out the two main reasons why, and you found out the truth about protective custody. That shit shouldn't even have the word protective in it. Straight up. But anyways, man, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Till next time.